Now at 5, a race to watch this election year, California's open U.S. Senate seat.
From the border to the homeless crisis and the economy, there are some big issues to tackle, and some big names are battling it out for the chance.
The final two with the most votes in the March 5th primary, regardless of party, will compete in November's general election.
And KCAL's Laurie Perez kicks off our candidate profiles on the 2024 Senate race with Congressman Adam Schiff.
Californians deserve a senator who's going to deliver for them every day.
12-term Congressman Adam Schiff is pushing his record as the reason he should succeed the late Diane Feinstein as California's newest U.S. senator. He leads in most polls and has raised the most money.
We need a senator in California who's ready to lead in the big fights.
Representative Katie Porter, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, and Republican former Dodger Steve Garvey round out the top 4 candidates in the race. The January debate revealed, at most, nuanced differences between the Dems, one over earmarks, federal funds tied to specific projects that lawmakers request, often in return for a vote. Porter wants to abolish them, saying they breed corruption. Schiff says there are safeguards in place, and California needs to start getting back more of the money it sends to Washington.
Any senator from California that says, no, I'm not going to do it because I'd rather have a political talking point, isn't going to be delivering for their constituents. And the 49 other states will be thrilled if California doesn't pursue funding for Californians.
Schiff rose to national prominence as he led the first impeachment of then-President Donald Trump, and served on the congressional panel investigating the January 6th attack at the U.S. Capitol. Upon Trump's third indictment related to attempts to overturn the 2020 presidential election, Schiff said this.
These charges were a long time in coming, and it's about time.
And has said his work holding Trump accountable also sets him apart from his rivals. It did make him a target of then-President Trump on the possibility of a Trump re-election and having to work with him.
I think Trump's election would be disastrous. But I'll tell you, when he was president, I fought him to protect our democracy. But at the same time, I discussed building roads and bridges, doing infrastructure with him in the Oval Office.
Managing homelessness remains one of the top issues for voters. On his office website, Schiff says the federal government must do more to solve the twin crises of housing affordability and homelessness.
In California, in LA, it can often take 4 years to build housing. We're never going to solve this problem if it takes us 4 years to build housing.
Political analyst Zev Yaroslavsky says the campaigning, the debates are essentially a job interview. And with little dividing the Democrats, it could now be more about persona than policy.
Can they deliver for the state? Can they hold their own with 99 other very strong-willed and seasoned politicians and policymakers in the U.S. Senate?
Analysts call this the first competitive race Schiff has ever faced. In it, he has raised more than twice as much money as any other Senate candidate in the nation. In Studio City, I'm Laurie Perez, KCAL News.